What if I told you there is one skill, just one, that separates the people who want things from the people who actually get the things? It's not about being the smartest person in the room. It's not about having the best connections or the most money. It's a skill that anyone can learn, yet almost nobody masters it. And that skill is the follow-up. If you're a salesperson trying to close more deals, a founder trying to raise money, an employee trying to get a promotion, or just someone who wants to make big things happen in your life, this video is for you. Because today I'm going to share a simple formula that will help you get almost anything you want simply by doing what nobody else is willing to do. Let me tell you a story I heard that completely changed how I see sales and persistence. Picture a group of business travelers, let's say 15 of them, standing on a hot, dusty shore in a foreign country, waiting for a boat to take them to a remote island. They've just finished a huge lunch, they're tired, and they're just trying to survive the heat. Suddenly, a local woman on a bicycle, loaded with fresh fruit, spots them. She pedals over, hops off her bike with a huge smile and starts pointing at her fruit, shouting with incredible energy, "Fruit, fruit!" The travelers, patting their full stomachs, all say, "No, thank you, we just ate, we're so full." So, does she get offended? Does she pack up and leave? Nope. She just smiles wider, gestures more empathically, and repeats, "Fruit, fruit." Same energy, same pitch. A few minutes later, the group's leader tells them they're at the wrong dock. They have to walk a few blocks down the road. So the whole group shuffles over to the new spot. And what do you think happens next? You guessed it. The fruit lady gets back up on her bike, pedals down the road, parks right in front of them again, and with even more passion exclaims, "Fruit, fruit!" They're all looking at each other, almost laughing, like this woman is relentless. They say no again, but she's not hearing it. Finally, their leader finds the right boat. They all walk over and huddle around it, waiting to board. And like clockwork, here she comes again. She bikes over, positions herself perfectly, and with a smile that could light up the whole island, she goes, "Fruit, fruit, fruit!" And in that moment, something magical happens. One person from the group cracks. He laughs and says, "All right, you win. I will take some fruit." Then another says, "You know, it's a 4-hour boat ride. Maybe we really should get some fruit, just in case." And suddenly, like a cascade, every single person in the group buys from her. That woman wasn't a master of persuasion. She didn't have a fancy script, but she had one thing, one powerful something. She understood that no often just means not right now. She had more clarity about what they needed. Fresh fruit for a long boat ride. She didn't just show up. She followed up. And she followed through until the timing was right. That's the secret. It's not about the first contact. It's about what happens after. Most people send one email, make one call, and then they sit back and wait. They think their job is done. That is the single biggest mistake you can make. My philosophy is simple. You follow up as many times as it takes to get a response. You don't care if the response is a yes, a no, or a check back in 6 months. You just need a response. If they tell you they are busy, you ask when a better time to connect would be. If they tell me they are not interested, you respect that and move on. But if they go silent, you keep following up. Let me give you a powerful example. One top sales executive I know pursued a massive deal with a prospect who went completely cold. It took a mix of 41 emails and voicemails over several months. It sounds insane, right? But the final response he got was, "You win. Let's connect at the trade show." That prospect became one of their biggest clients. Now, this isn't about spamming people. There are rules to this game. The two most important are, if you're reaching out completely cold to someone you never interacted with, I'd cap it about at 6 follow-ups. You don't have the relationship to justify more than that. And this is a big one. Never try to guilt trip the other person. So let's get practical. Here's a cheat sheet for following up like a champion. First, what's the right frequency? You want to start with a high frequency and then space it out over time. A good framework to start is with something like day 1, your first follow-up. Day 3, your second one. Day 7, your third one. And day 14, your fourth. And then maybe once every few weeks after that. A good CRM is your best friend here. I use one in my daily workflow to automatically set reminders so no one ever falls through the cracks. But you can use a calendar or a simple to-do list to get started. Just remember, this is a guideline, not a hard rule. If you're trying to reach the CEO of a Fortune 500 company, you give them more breathing room than if you're following up with a small business owner. Context is everything. Next, what's the best way to follow up? Email, phone, or something else? It completely depends on what you're optimizing for. If you want the best chance at a positive outcome, email is your best friend. It's not intrusive, it gives the other person control over when and how they respond, and you can follow up for months without being annoying. If you want a quick response, because something is time sensitive, the phone is your tool. But be warned, the risk of coming across as pushy is much, much higher. Call me 10 times in 2 days and I'm probably going to say no even if I was interested, just because it feels too high pressure. And if it's an absolute do or die situation, show up in person. It's the ultimate trump card. There's a reason one of the oldest sales tricks in the book is, I was just in the neighborhood. Use it wisely. Now let's talk about the single biggest mistake that will kill all of your follow-up efforts. Guilt. Think about your own inbox. We all have emails we meant to reply to but never did. We feel a little bit bad about it. The last thing we want is for the sender to remind us of that guilt. An email that says, I've sent you 4 emails already, why haven't you responded? Is an instant delete. It gives the person an easy emotional out to just ignore you. Your job is to make them feel good about finally responding. Your tone should be persistently friendly and helpful. Keep your messages short, positive, and forward-looking. Assume they are busy, not that they are ignoring you. Which brings me to the 2 biggest mental blocks that stop people from following up. First, they assume silence means rejection. This is almost never true. Silence means they're sick. Their kid is home from school, their boss just dropped a crisis on their desk, or they saw your email while running to a meeting and forgot about it. By assuming the best, that they are just busy, you give yourself permission to keep trying. Second, they are afraid of being annoying or rude. Look, life is not a popularity contest. Your goal isn't to be liked by everyone. Your goal is to provide value. I would rather have 3 people think I'm a bit pushy and 7 people do amazing business with me than have 10 people feel completely indifferent. Be professional, be friendly, but don't be afraid to be persistent. This isn't just about sales either. This formula applies to everything. Think about what it takes to get the attention of someone huge in your industry. I followed this incredible story about a startup founder who wanted to land an interview with a marketing titan. His first attempt years earlier was a total failure. Years later, he had a new idea and got a warm introduction. The influencer said yes, but then silence. For months, the founder had to keep following up, politely and persistently, navigating scheduling conflicts and last-minute cancellations. He could have gotten frustrated and given up, but he knew this person was just insanely busy. If he wanted that hour of time, he had to work for it. Eventually, the interview happened. It was a huge success for his company. It brought in thousands of new business and massively boosted their brand's credibility. That win wasn't the result of the work done that week. It was a result of years of hustle, learning, and persistent follow-up. This applies to hiring too. There's a powerful story from a CEO about hiring a key engineer. He believed this person could make all the difference for his company. The team spent 3 months taking him to breakfasts, lunches, and dinners. He had influential people pitch him. They tried everything and they still told them no. It was heartbreaking for the team, but they refused to burn the bridge. The CEO even jokingly texted him a picture from that day, calling it the worst decision of his life. But they stayed in touch. They kept investing in the relationship. A year and a half later, the engineer's situation had changed. And because that CEO was still there, still on his radar, he ended up joining the team. That engineer went on to build the core technology that the entire business runs on today. Was it worth the effort? Every single second. So how do you handle those leads who just never ever respond? So before you give up for good, you send one last email. It's called the breakup email. Psychology is simple. People hate losing something more and they love gaining something. By taking the option away, you suddenly become more attractive. The subject line can be something like, goodbye from Robert, or should I stay or should I go now? The body of the email is short and simple. It basically says, hey Martin, I've tried to connect a few times to discuss my performance marketing, but haven't heard back. I'm guessing you are either swamped or this just isn't a priority right now. So I'm going to close your file for now. If you ever do want to explore this in the future, please don't hesitate to reach out. All the best, Robert. It's professional, it's not accusatory, and you will be shocked at how many people reply to this email saying, no, wait, I'm interested. Things have just been crazy. It works. So you've made it to the end of this video. Most people will feel inspired, close this tab, and go right back to doing what they have always done. That's why most people get average results. But I hope you will do something different. I have a challenge for you. Right now, not later, not tomorrow, right now. Pause this video, open your email or your CRM. Make a list of 10 people, prospects, partners, potential hires who have gone silent on you, and send each one a short, friendly, valuable follow-up to move the conversation forward. Even if you just get a no, you've achieved clarity. You've cleared that mental space and can move on. That follow-up is your superpower. It's where the deals are won, where the relationships are built, and where the game is changed. Now go use it.